Hello, my name is Robert M. Ross and I'm a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Pennsylvania. I'd like to welcome you to my channel, which I'm calling The Common Sense Lifestyle. Now, why call it The Common Sense Lifestyle? Well, it's always been my belief that good psychology is common sense with some fancy $5 words attached to it. Every profession has their jargon, their terminology that they use in their training and in their communication with each other, so no matter where you go in the United States, mechanics know what certain parts and tools are. Surgeons, every profession known to man has their own little internal jargon terminology. However, one of the things that I think is an obstacle for us is a lot of times we let the jargon get in the way and we use this jargon with people that were never exposed to the jargon and we're talking in a different language to them. Also, a lot of the problems that we face are very simple to understand and sometimes even simple to solve, maybe in theory, if not action. So what I want to do is I want to take the science, take the jargon, break it down into normal language in little digestible chunks that people can use to help their lives. Also, I've also noticed that we're having some problems in our society. Our society is changing very, very rapidly, and I don't think that we're doing a very good job of preparing men in particular to take part in this new world. Now, why do I say that? Well, the suicide rate among men is increasing drastically, and that is an absolute tragedy, and it's an unnecessary one. We're seeing 50%, if not higher, failure rate for marriages. So obviously we're not preparing people for relationships, marriage, commitment, whatever it is that's going on. And I've seen a lot of very confused people, men in particular, again, as societies change beyond what they were raised to deal with. When you're raised in a certain way, you're raised with a certain set of beliefs, you expect a certain amount of things in life, and when none of those things occur, or when the opposite occurs even worse, it causes a lot of problems for people. One of the bigger factors in suicide for men is divorce, and it's a very high percentage of men that successfully commit suicide that are divorced and are having marital issues. So we definitely want to address that. Now that I've addressed suicide, let me say, in the description below, I'm going to put a suicide hotline number. I always view suicide in most cases as a long-term solution to a short-term problem. You lose a job, a marriage breaks up, a relationship breaks up, something goes wrong. These are surmountable things. You can get past these things. You can get over those things. You can live beyond those things. However, some people take the quick way and decide to end their lives when really it's a temporary thing. And even if it takes years, how many people out there right now watching this video know that something terrible in their lives happened at some point, and now they're better for it? Now they're stronger for it. Now they have an even better relationship or an even better job or an even better career. So please, if you're feeling suicidal, make use of the suicide prevention hotline. Get in touch with someone, get some help. Don't take that step because it's never necessary. It's never a necessary thing. Now, for the first topic, for my very first video, the title is She Won't Respond to My Texts. Now, that sounds a little trivial, but that's a problem that's come up quite a few times over the last maybe year or so in my practice, where I have men, teenagers coming to me and saying, I'm interested in this person, and they're not responding to my text messages. So let's back up a little bit and talk about a few basic principles here. I want to introduce you to an individual named Alfred Adler. Adler died in the 30s. He was a contemporary of Freud, but he broke with Freud, and a lot of people broke with Freud because Freud was a pretty strange guy. But Alfred Adler laid a lot of the groundwork for the work we do now. He was the first person in our profession to talk about birth order in terms of where's your order in the family and how does that affect your personality, your upbringing, everything else like that. That's something that we commonly talk about now, but Adler was the first person to really bring that to the forefront. Another really important thing, and this will come up in other videos, is the first 6 years of life are vitally important in terms of your learning socially, individually, everywhere in between. You learn more between birth and 6 than you do for the rest of your life combined, and I promise you that will come up in later videos. And then he discussed what I think the most important thing he discussed was the following concept. All behavior is goal-directed. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is what we do or don't do is consistent with what we think, want, or believe. Humans do things that are consistent with our goals, and the behavior that we see from people is a window into their beliefs. You can kind of look at someone's behavior and kind of know what they're thinking, feeling, wanting based on what they do, not necessarily what they say. Which leads me into how do we translate that into something that we can use? Well, a simple way of looking at it is as follows. Don't pay attention to what they say, pay attention to what they do. Very vital concept when you're dealing with other people. Always look at what they do, not what they say. She won't return my texts, calls, social media contacts. That's the issue. So let's break that down a little bit. If she's not responding to your communication, there is a simple explanation for it. If she's not responding to you, it's because she doesn't want to. Walk it back just a little bit. If she works and she's not allowed to use her phone in her workplace, you just can't assume that she doesn't want to communicate. She just can't communicate, period. And I've talked to people that, well, she didn't text me for like 8 hours. Well, where was she? At work. And they're like, oh, no, she hates me. No, she doesn't hate you. She's at work. Be reasonable with this. If she's had a death in the family, if she has a crisis going on in her own life, if something's going on, and she's not getting back to you right away, it's probably because she's preoccupied. If she's sitting with her mother, brother, sister, uncle in the emergency room, the last thing that she's going to be thinking about is texting you. And that's okay. That's fine. Now, otherwise, other than, reasonable excuses for not, texting you back, we have to look at their behavior to determine their beliefs. Obviously, it would be better if someone's not interested in you. It would be better if they would just tell you, hey, sorry, not interested, not talking to you, want to talk to somebody else, I'm with someone else, whatever. It would be much better if it was overt, plain as day, boom, I don't want to talk to you, goodbye. Doesn't always happen that way. Actually, probably most of the time it doesn't. So let me put it to you this way. If you're still on the fence, if you're still on the bubble here, how long does it take to send a text message, Facebook message, whatever that says, hi, how you doing? 10, 15 seconds, somewhere in that neighborhood, boom, 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 text is off. Doesn't take very long, does it? Now, if she's not willing to take 10 to 15 seconds to send you a text, that directly means that you're not worth 10 to 15 seconds of her time. She's doing something else. She may be doing something else with someone else, but it's not you, and she's not taking the time. So it sounds kind of cruel, but a lot of times the truth is cruel. Don't make the same mistakes that other people make and keep on trying to communicate with someone who doesn't want to communicate back with you. If you continue to communicate with someone who doesn't want to spend the 10 to 15 seconds that it takes to send a text message, and I can't stress that enough, if you continue to, you're going to look like a creepy stalker because you're going to be. Don't do that. Move on. Abandon ship, jump out of the burning plane, hit your chute. Your time is valuable. Don't waste your valuable time on someone who doesn't have 10 to 15 seconds to waste on you. If she's not invested, if she doesn't care, if she's not showing you that she's the slightest bit interested in your well-being or what you're doing, just cut and go. Just stop. Don't be a creeper. And, look at your own behavior. I mean, what is your behavior telling others about you and your goals and beliefs? Are you coming off as needy, or weak? Are you coming off as a person who's desperate? And that's incredibly unattractive. If you're still texting someone saying, oh, please talk to me, she's not going to want to because she's not going to respect you. You're going to come off as really, really, really weak and needy. So don't do that. Please don't spend a single minute of your time worrying or fretting about someone who doesn't care about you. And they don't because they're not showing you that they do. They're showing you the opposite. They're showing you that they don't care through their actions. There are no magic words or phrases that can make her want to communicate with you. There's no magic wands. This isn't Harry Potter. This isn't Hogwarts or whatever that place is. You can't do anything about this. You can't make someone like you. And believe it or not, people come to me and, well, how do I make her like me? You don't. You can't. Attraction is not something that you sit down at a negotiation table and work out among mediators. It doesn't work that way. She either wants to communicate with you or she doesn't. And you're going to know, once again, whether she does or doesn't by if she does or not. Her actions will always speak louder than her words. And sometimes if it's silence, there's no words anyway. Again, attraction isn't something that you can be bargained with, created out of the blue. It either is there or it isn't, and you'll know by her actions. If she's interested in you, she'll make an effort to communicate with you. If she doesn't, it means she doesn't want to. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And remember the suicide prevention hotline down there. If you are feeling bad, you think you're going to do something, please don't take that step. Take some steps to help yourself rather than harm yourself. But let me know what you think below. Again, this is Common Sense Lifestyle. Robert Ross. Have a great day.